when looking at Counter-Strike as an investment opportunity instead of simply a fun game with fun items that have a specific value. It's an interesting world. For almost any item in the game, you will likely see profits over time. Valve have a way of cycling items out of the active drop pool or out of the in-store market, limiting supply and eventually resulting in price increases as users fight over items that are no longer obtainable outside of the various markets that exist, whether it's created by Valve themselves or a third party. As Counter-Strike has grown and the years have stacked up, we have so many limited supply collections that it has become very difficult to predict what will receive demand or manipulation next. From the oldest cases to the newest. From the old collection skins to new armory skins. From storied major stickers to new replicas. Then you add on other types of items that now exist, like gloves, agents, charms, and patches. It all gets very convoluted. When treating Counter-Strike purely as a market opportunity, it's generally important to stay diversified. When one item hits new all-time highs out of nowhere, you sell your items and you invest in your next best prediction. If an item is stable and increasing gradually, you set a price and sell when that goal has been achieved. The fundamentals that you might expect from a $5 billion market do not exist in Counter-Strike, so you have to keep up with the recent news and the cycles here and there. But as someone who has consistently held on to items, even those not considered desirable or true investment opportunities, I feel like it's time to make a change on my end, and I'm going all in. Do you like things that are free? Well, vloot, the sponsor of this video, has many giveaways for CS2 items ready for you to enter. By completing any one of the tasks provided, you will be entered into the giveaway of choice. With each task completed, your chance of winning increases. No registration, no hoops to jump through, just a few tasks that take seconds to complete and you're good to go. There are some pretty cool and expensive items here for grabs, and if nothing catches your eye, take another look a week or two from now to see what else is offered. They get to follow, you get a chance to win an item worth hundreds of dollars. Sounds like a good trade. If you are interested, the link is in the description. I consider the recent Genesis collection to be a sign that Valve are preparing for the worst. It has been a main topic on this channel before, so I won't outline the whole history, but here's a short explanation. Valve have been pressured in the past for their involvement in unregulated gambling. Following some strong conversations among governments from various countries post-COVID about the predatory nature of loot boxes in video games, we also saw another change from Valve. And now for the first time, outside of individual market items, Valve have released an item that has no slot machine feel to it. Have you ever sat back and thought about how insane it is that we gamble on music kits? They will turn anything into a gambling mechanic, but out of nowhere, a case, which is Valve's biggest money-making machine, has no gambling mechanic. Now before we get ahead of ourselves, saying this is the death of cases and all gambling will be removed from Counter-Strike, we have to consider Valve's motives as well. This could purely be a way for Valve to regulate prices and keep items on the Steam market so they can collect fees on each transaction. Eventually, high-tier skins get too expensive and trade purely on third-party sites. When the Genesis case was first released and no price reference was available, we saw a $1,500 M4A4 that was offered. This created some pretty angry headlines at the time, and I think we can all agree that this new Genesis collection kinda sucks for the consumer. So was the Genesis collection created to prepare for harsher loot box laws? Was it created so Valve can collect fees on these skins long after they exit the active drop pool? Or was it just a random experiment after seeing how profitable the Valorant night market is? Without eyes and ears in Valve's offices, we really don't know that answer today. But history is starting to show us that Valve are actively creating an ecosystem that does not revolve around keys and slot machines. I decided that if this is the transition point, I want to be more involved. I did not make a celebratory video, but ladies and gentlemen, the fracture case has finally been removed. After many long years, we can finally rest and let time do its work. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows though. We can look at simulations from CS Stonks, which is a very useful site when considering case investments. As you can see, the fracture case holds a high unboxing rate, which can be seen easier on CS Case Tracker. But at the end of the day, those supply numbers are intense. The instant spike and gradual fall after this case was confirmed out of the active drop pool was far from expected. Millions and millions of cases ready to enter the markets at any point, and they did. But look at that skeleton fade. When looking at skins like the Deagle print stream and Legion of Anubis, or looking at all of the knives that should never be added to a future case in these finishes, it's no surprise that people were a little antsy when the news dropped. Yes, you would say that a case with supply this high is something you throw in a storage unit and check every few years. But with items people will be seeking out even when prices do eventually creep up and potential changes to the future of CS, how long would it really take to double or triple from here? When I look at my inventory, I see a lot of money wasted in items that will remain barely profitable and I don't actually care for in any way. I would keep a lot of these to record clips, but if I do this, you have no idea that I don't own the item. Magic. Saying goodbye to the stickers that I have had for years. Skins that have been in this storage unit before many of you created your accounts. Operation items that have run their course. There is no panic on my end. These items will just be sitting on the markets, and when they sell, that money will be reinvested. All into fracture cases? No, that would be a little too crazy for me. But if we entertain the idea that traditional cases could get phased out in favor of a system that does not get targeted by governing bodies, is there really anything else that sounds more profitable? And if we do assume that cases will continue as per usual going forward, what is more likely? That this Titan Hollow doubles in price, or this case doubles in price? I think we all know the answer to that. Obviously, making more money is the goal, but I owned most of these items for years, and Counter-Strike has been my outlet of hoarding that I take pride in. For the stickers, it pains me to let them go, but it's time. For the skins, it's honestly a suffering from success moment. Skin prices in my eyes, especially for factory new, are insane. When I look at the current skins market, I see a bunch of scary volatile items that are ready to crash any day. Then I look at something like the Prisma case that has had a steady decrease in price over the last few months, and that doesn't look sustainable to me either. Skins are at a high point, cases are at a low point. Money is entering the CS market at an insane rate, which would make any item, even those illiquid, quite easy to sell. And I own many items that fit that description. When you look at the percentages of case investing, or oddballs that I've been following closely like old map collections, if I make the right move, then I can repurchase all of the items I just sold 10 times over. Why not take the chance when a golden opportunity has arrived? Not saying Fracture and Prisma cases are the only option. Revolver is always an interesting opportunity as it's the last case to contain original knives and finishes. The CS20 case is the only case to offer classic knives, and they have gained more of a following recently as they are becoming more of a collector's item. Any Armory collection item has gained my interest as Valve have proven that these items will be cycled out going forward. Budapest has the chance to give insane opportunities for sticker investing. If the new stickers are a standard bordered design, that's good news for both Austin and any borderless collection, which honestly might end up being the single greatest investment opportunity that we have seen in Counter-Strike, if that scenario plays out. Old map collection skins are starting to see price movement for low tier items. That will keep high tier skins more expensive as you can't just spam trade ups and flood the market. Yes, these skins of interest will be inflated factory new examples, but the limited supply of these items reduces the risk. As you can see, this is starting to look like a turning point for many items in Counter-Strike, even if the price manipulation we have experienced the last few months stops entirely. I will not see any benefits by holding items like this. I am someone who doesn't sell. All of the skins that you are looking at, all of these stickers, all of these cases, every item you are looking at was purchased before 2020. But the state of Counter-Strike items currently is so insane with prices getting manipulated every day, it was enough for me to finally say goodbye. It has been a couple years since I have done an inventory review, but I will do one at the end of the year. You will all be able to see how I do in just a few months. Hopefully, it will be a positive video.